Why isn't Brock Purdy getting MVP type love? That's what they want to know about. So shout out to Flynn West. I kind of used his question to paraphrase this. He said, Purdy's on a historic sophomore run right now, playing at an elite level. And it's made me curious about Mahomes' first year or sophomore year in the NFL. He won the MVP. And so why is it Purdy getting the same love that Mahomes got, right? Everybody's like, well, it's a Shanahan system. You got Debo, Ayuk, CMC. Mahomes had Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. It's not like he didn't have studs with him as well. Mose, help me understand. What is, I know that Mahomes and Purdy are different. I'm not trying to say they're the same. However, we got a young quarterback putting up some elite numbers. Help me understand.
I think, to start this conversation, I think we all know that the MVP award is all about flash, right? It's not putting up good numbers. It's who puts up gaudy numbers. And like they have to be like insanely good numbers. And I'm trying to look at we're talking about Mahomes' second season. He won MVP because he put up 5,000 passing yards and 50 touchdowns.
Yeah,
So,
that's not
so
happening.
for perspective, even if we didn't talk about Mahomes, right now with what Brock Purdy is averaging as far as yards per game, he's on pace for 4,332. For comparison, right now, what Tua is averaging in Miami, Tua's on pace for 5,500. So that's 500 more than 5,550. So that's almost 500 more than what Mahomes put up. Mahomes is his most yards, where it was last year, we put up 5,250. So that kind of shows you early on where Tua is projected. Now, will he get to 5,500? That's going to be tough once defenses really start to figure him out, figure that offensive out, find out different ways to slow him. Maybe they go on a slump offensively. Maybe their schedule has a lot of games in a row that are tough contests. Who knows? But that's what the projection is right now. Right now, and through 4 games, Purdy only has 5 passing touchdowns. That puts him on pace for 21. So if at the end of the season, Purdy only has 4,300 passing yards, which is pretty decent, and then
Yeah.
only
We haven't
21
had a
touchdowns.
4,000-yard passer since Jeff Garcia.
Right. So for us, that would be absolutely amazing. But in comparison to the league, him only having 4,300 yards and 21 touchdowns, there's going to be a quarterback that has more yards, and there's going to be a quarterback that has more touchdowns. And if there's one quarterback that has more of both, more than likely they're going to be propelled as the MVP favorite over Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and shout out to Jax. What's up, girl? So excited to hang out this weekend, man. She's coming down. She says, "Hey, John and Mose, have a great show." We do because of people
Nice.
like you. And whenever we see your comments and your generosity, Jax, I just want to say thank you. Puts a smile on my face, and very thankful. You know that the question, the poll that I put on the YouTube channel, the live, I said, which is most important for Brock to win MVP? 49ers record, passing touchdowns, passing yards, or low interceptions. So I want to rephrase that back to you, Mose. I'll go through what the people watching have said. So 4 options. What's most important for Brock Purdy to win MVP? 49ers record, passing touchdown, passing yards, lowest interceptions.
To be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to go with a 5th option
Oh,
based on my research from the question that you sent me. And I'm going to say all of the above because
yeah, yeah.
because based on what this offense is, right? And what he's asked to do in this offense, he's going to have to be top 3 if not number 1 in all of these categories, right? So
Yes.
right now, he currently leads the league in QBR and quarterback rating. He's 8th in yards and only has 0 interceptions. So, if he can get to 45, maybe 4,700 yards, if he can get the touchdowns to about 30 or more, stay under 10
That's got to be
interceptions.
the issue. That's got to be the issue, right?
Right.
The
So, having
touchdowns
the
are the biggest
yards,
concern for me.
Yeah, having the yards, getting at least got to get the touchdowns into the 30s. Even if you get it
On
at
pace for
30,
21 touchdowns right now. That's his
on pace for
prorated.
21 right now. Exactly. So you got to at least get it to 30. So the
Yeah.
yards, 4,500 or more, cool. If we can get the touchdowns to 30, keep the interceptions below 10, stay number one in QBR and quarterback rating. And if the 49ers, I would say, have the best record in the NFL, but if they just have the best record in the NFC and take the number one seed, I think then there is real consideration for him to be the MVP because his team is so good. Now, will the voters dock him? Like you said, Mahomes had Kelsey, he had Tyreek, he had Andy Reid, but he also put up over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. So that
Yeah,
kind of
that was
canceled
different.
out. It
With the
canceled
flashy
out
plays
his help.
too, and the whole throwing
Right,
off
right, right,
1
right.
foot, 60 yards and all that stuff. Like, there's reasons why Brock went where he did and Mahomes went. Their skill set is different. One of them is flashy, highlight driven. One of them is just consistent and methodical. It's Tony Gwynn. And Tony Gwynn is like my favorite of all time. Like, absolutely, I'm a Braves guy, but Tony Gwynn was everything because he just never messed up. He was the most consistent at everything. And you looked
Yeah.
at Tony Gwynn and you're like, that looks like John Chapman playing baseball. Let's just be honest. We're on the same diet plan. Let's just be real. And so, like, you see Tony Gwynn and he's like, man, that's dude's not, 6'4" with chiseled abs and
Right,
whatever else.
right,
No.
right.
And that's not who Brock Purdy is either. However, Tony Gwynn's a Hall of Famer. Now, Mose, let me update just the votes that everybody else is saying. So again, 47% said 49ers record. You got to be, and this goes to the old adage, the best player on the best team. I get that. So that's got the most votes. Passing touchdown second, 29%. Low interceptions, 18. Passing yards, 6%. I'll update that at the end of the show. Don't let me forget that. So here's what I would say. Okay. So I went through the last 5 MVPs. Okay. So you had Mahomes, Rodgers, Lamar, Mahomes again. Those are the last 5 MVPs. Totaled all their numbers, prorated Brock's numbers. And I just tweeted this out, and I'm already getting people upset at me about it, but that's okay. I don't mind. We call it propaganda. Brockaganda. That's what it is. So here's what I'm going to say. If Brock stays on this pace, he's on pace to throw for more passing yards than Aaron Rodgers in both of his MVP years of 2020 and 2021. So passing yards, I feel like that one's checked. I'm not too concerned about that. I think he's fine. The craziest thing that I found is Brock is currently on pace for more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson's MVP season. Lamar Jackson had 7. Brock's on pace for 8.5. So the yards, not even close. Lamar rushed for 1,200 plus yards. So that way bye-bye to Brock long ago. Now, you talked about the quarterback passing touchdowns, which, Mahomes throwing 50, not even comparable. He's on pace. What did I say? 21 touchdown passes.
21.
So I went back and I looked, where are the fewest touchdown passes to an MVP quarterback? I had to go the last 20 years, Peyton Manning in 2008 through 27 and won MVP. That's
How
kind
many
of
yards did he have?
he didn't have a lot of yards. Like, it's weird. They were like 13-3. They weren't great. And it was just like, I don't understand. It was
He
just a
won
down year
MVP at
statistically.
13-3?
Yeah. And so, yeah, again, you look at these
Was every other
records.
quarterback in the NFL horrible that year?
I think it was injuries and whatever else. But yeah, listen to
Okay.
this is what's key that I think a lot of people miss. Last year, Mahomes 14-3. Year before, Rodgers 13-3. Year before that, back-to-back MVPs 13-3. Lamar 13-2. He missed a game. Mahomes 12-4. So you got to get all the wins, which I think he's got that checked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Completion percentage, if he just stayed where he is, which I don't think is possible, he's at 72.3%. It'd be the 3rd highest completion percentage in the NFL's history. Only Drew Brees would have 2 seasons better, but Drew Brees never won MVP. So if Brock had these numbers and won MVP, it would be the highest completion percentage ever for a quarterback to win MVP. I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to win it. I'm just telling everybody that now, and CMC probably has a lot to do with this as well. I think he's the best player on the best team currently. But I do think he should be in the conversation. Currently, my bookie has him at 7th best odds. Do you think that's about where he should be? Should he be getting more love, less love? And this goes to the chat too. Should Brock, okay, Brock is currently 7th for MVP. Should he be higher? If so, what number should Brock be? I want a number. Put in the chat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, shouldn't be, whatever. I want to hear what people have to say this, but as they come in with their answers, I want to hear you, Mose. Is 7th respectable? Like, are you cool with that? Or is he being slighted a little bit?
Okay, so let's talk what we know right now after 4 weeks of the season. Who would potentially be the 6 players ahead of him? CMC is one.
You put
so
CMC is one spot behind him, but you would put CMC ahead of him. They're close.
I would put
There's
CMC ahead of him.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. I put CMC ahead of him. I would put Tua ahead of him. I would put Tyreek Hill ahead of him.
Ooh.
I put Josh Allen.
Tyreek is not ahead of him, by the way. He is not.
Okay.
I can tell you the order if you want me to.
Now, wait a minute. Do you have a sponsorship with my bookie?
I sure do.
Okay. So I sure do. I can't say anything bad about my bookie. My bookie is great. Use promo. What's your promo code?
Promo code 49ers. Get that deposit bonus.
Okay,
and that's my thing.
Promo code.
The odds are different everywhere, and you got to take advantage of those.
Because
where's Tyreek at?
Tyreek and for Tyreek Hill to be behind him. Yeah, give me who are the 6 people ahead of him?
Okay, I'll go in order from the number 1 favorite, according to my bookie. Okay, Josh Allen has the best odds currently. Tua's 2nd. They're super close. Mahomes is 3rd. Jalen Hurts 4. Lamar Jackson, big drop from Hurts to Jackson is 5. Herbert is 6. Another big drop from Lamar Jackson to Herbert. Brock is 7. McCaffrey is 8. And Brock and CMC are like so close. Like, I mean, they're very, very close to each other as far as odds go. Behind that, Trevor Lawrence, Dak, Goff, Watson, Stafford, Parsons, Burrow, Cousins, Geno, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson.
Where's Jettis?
So, who?
Where's Jettis?
Jettis?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah. He's right behind Tyreek Hill. They have the same. Tyreek is plus 7,500. Jefferson is plus 8,500 because they keep losing. They're 0-3. They're 1-3 or whatever. Like,
yeah.
It's going to a quarterback.
I mean,
CMC could rush for 2,000 yards and not win.
Based on that list, then, because it looks like my bookie is basically they're projecting the odds at the end of the season, so they're not looking at just based on the first 4 weeks.
Correct.
Based on that list, if Purdy is 7, I think that's really, really good because the quarterbacks ahead of him just have the skill set and the offenses that are more inclined to put up better numbers. And then when you have Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Lamar Jackson, you talk about the added stats of their rushing ability, right? So yeah, I based on that list from my bookie, I think 7 is a proper spot for him. They give you all the flashy quarterbacks, and then there's no other quarterback in front of Brock Purdy because of the quote unquote non-flashy guys. He is the most efficient.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.